So let's start and begin with this understanding that when we talk about, because there have been a lot of concerns about processed food, and whenever you step into the grocery store, you want to be, as kids, as students, as people who are growing up, you want to know, what are you eating? What is in that package that you're taking home and you're going to eat? I want the kids who are growing up, who are growing to be responsible people, to know what they put into their bodies. That is what nutrition is about, in my opinion. So to make it clear so that we are on the same page, unless you pick food at a farm and eat it, all food is processed. So if you're going to a farm and picking food up there and eating it, that is unprocessed food. But the moment you step into that grocery store, everything is processed. And now, talking about processed foods, it's very important to distinguish and know what is the difference. What is the difference between foods? If everything is processed, what does that really mean? You step into the grocery store, you're looking for bread, you may be looking for your canned food, you may be looking for your favorite cereal. Your best friends to be an informed shopper, because you are at that age where you are responsible for making decisions on what goes into your body. Yes, your parents are there to provide it, but you have to make that decision of what goes inside your body. So your best friends, in my opinion, at the grocery store, first one is the nutrition facts panel. You need to be aware. We all need to be aware that the information is in that label. It breaks it down for you in terms of nutrients. Like one of my professors would smilingly say, we do not eat nutrition, we eat food. But it's very important to know what is in there. And the nutrition facts panel, if you are interested in seeing how much carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and for that matter, vitamins and minerals are in your food, that is one of your best friends at the grocery store. And I want you to specifically focus here, all the way down over here where it says the vitamins and mentions the minerals. Because in US, in our country, most of the ailments that are related to food, it is because of the deficiency in the vitamins and minerals in our food. We kind of take care of the carbohydrates, we kind of take care of the protein generally. Even if we are not in a mood to eat, we'll still get a little bit of that every now and then. But what is lacking when our diet is not balanced is the essential vitamins and minerals that we need in our body. So as kids growing up at an age where you have to make your decisions, make sure you look into the panel and find out, am I getting the right amount of vitamins and minerals that I need? Because you'll be surprised how these play such an important role. It's not just about what's in the bottle, you eat a supplement and you're done, but food is your best place to get those. That is about the panel. Then another one, like getting your cereal, getting your bread, and making sure, because many times kids will talk to me and they're like, how do we make sure if I'm going out and I want to buy whole wheat bread? How do I know? Because there is so much confusion, especially when you look at the box, it tells you so many things in there. It's made from whole grain, this is 20 grains, this is 30 grains, it's good for you. But yes, that may give you the information, but be assured that the front package is designed to attract you most of the times, because the producers, they want to sell what they produce, right? They advertise it that way because that's their job. They have to. But your job as a responsible person, as a person growing up, I cannot stress more about the ingredients list. This is one of the best friends at your grocery store. Please do not ignore it. Whenever you go to that package, look into that ingredient list, because very valuable information. Looking at this ingredient list, all the things that are present in that package that you're picking up, the first few of them will tell you what is in there, most of it, because the ingredients are listed in the order that they are present. Like if this says sugar, that means most of it in this package is sugar, followed by the rest of the ingredients. So they are arranged there by the amount that is present in that food, in the package that you're buying. So definitely check that. And you don't have to look anywhere else, because if there are things that you can read and you do not know what they are, we can always look it up for you. There are people around like myself or other nutritionists or dietitians that you can go to and you can ask, instead of going to any other website which may not be as as authentic. You can always ask, but do check, do get into the habit of looking in there and seeing what is in my food, because as consumers, as people who are growing up, you are the ones who get to decide what stays on those aisles. Many times people say you vote with your fork, you choose with your fork, because many times you will see some of your favorite foods are there. In a few weeks, in a few months, you may not even see it there, and you're like wondering what happened, because maybe people checked it and maybe it was something that they did not like. The producers are not going to produce it, because what you eat is what they are going to produce. Although it's not as simple as that, but it does make an impact. The choice that you make yourself definitely impacts it. So as for going back to the processed foods, very important to know the difference, because there have been cases, there have been instances where many children, many kids, even people my age, they completely label everything is not good for you, kind of. I need to buy only organic. I need to do, oh, I can't eat that vegetable. It's probably, it's processed, it's over processed. To know the difference between what is processed, what is the difference, what are we talking about here? First, let's go through the minimally processed foods so we know what we are talking about. So for minimally processed foods, we are talking about your favorite vegetables. We are talking about foods that are frozen. It's always a very good idea to look into the frozen aisle for stuff before you go anywhere else. You may buy your vegetables and never end up not cooking them and end up wasting them, but do look into the frozen aisles, because that is a good source of nutrients for you. And here I want you to go and look at the nutrition facts label, because we are talking about the two important tools. You will see, yes, it has carbohydrates and it will tell you sodium, very low sodium, focus on that. And then go ahead and look at the micronutrients in there, and you will see that it has vitamin C, it's got calcium, there's some amount of vitamins. So that is minimally processed. It's just that it has been cleaned, they have frozen it to keep it safe for eating, and they send it out to the grocery store for you to buy. Moving on, we come to our favorite processed foods. Again, your bread, your pasta, the oils. So taking the minimally processed foods, adding a little bit of sugar and salt, maybe grinding it a little more to make the oil. So that falls under processed foods. There may be a little sugar added to there or salt added. As you can see, the sodium is increasing now. And we still have some decent amount of calcium and iron in there, which means as we move from minimally processed to processed, you will definitely see a little more salt and sugar in there, because they have to put something to keep it fresh longer, to make sure to process it and use it as a preservative, basically. Because salt and sugar has been used for ages for preserving food. So that takes care of the minimally processed food, but you still see some amount of micronutrients, because that is our goal. Yes, we are getting the right amounts of carbs, proteins, fats. Okay, we are taking care of that. The goal is to get the right amount of micronutrients, which is your minerals and vitamins. Moving along, and we come to our favorite donut. So when you talk about the donut and you come to ultra processed food, so minimally processed, moving to processed, and now going to ultra processed. And as you can tell here, and you compare the nutrition facts label, this is the point where we add the colors to it, We might add what you call emulsifiers and other chemicals to increase their shelf life and keep them good for a long, long time. And as you can tell, if you look closely at the sodium has increased quite a bit. And what you might notice in comparison to the minimally processed and the processed, there is no room for micronutrients there. They are completely gone. Unless the food is fortified, that is, they put in the micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals, you will not find them most of the time in ultra processed food. So that is where finding that balance comes in. Like I could be telling you, you know what, you don't have to, don't eat the donut, but that's not what I'm here for because I eat donuts too, you know. But the point is for me to be able to find that balance. So when I eat, because yes, you are at an age where your parents can provide you, but you get to decide what you eat and what you put in your body. It's your job. It's your job to take charge and know, what am I eating? Am I getting the enough micronutrients that I need? And why are we stressing so much on those? Why are we stressing so much on the fiber part? Coming back to it and asking yourself, does my plate look like this when I have my lunch or my dinner? If the answer is yes, it kind of looks similar to that, then you're good to go. But if you think maybe making a few changes here and there will help you, why do we keep talking about vegetables and fruits? Because you don't want to rely on external supplements too much, because you are in an age where food can do wonders for you. Like, it's a cliche, but food can be your medicine. You don't have to rely. If you establish those habits right now, it's going to be extremely beneficial. And why are we talking especially about adolescents and calcium? When we talk about milk or milk related products, it is this age that you guys are in right now, that your skeleton, your bones, your bone mass is being built. And that is going to stay for a long time with you. Once you pass that age of 30, that's it. Your bones are not growing anymore. And what happens? Slowly your bone mass is lost, and eventually the bone diseases, the other issues with the skeleton can come up. So please, at your age, it's very important to have a calcium source in your diet. It doesn't only have to be the bowl of cereal with milk. There are other options. Having your favorite smoothie, maybe stashing those bananas in the freezer and making it for your breakfast. These things are possible, like your favorite cheese or your favorite beans. Your favorite trail mix could have almonds in there. So all those options, there are options available for you to take care of yourself and get that calcium source. Then moving on to protein a little bit. Well, this might not be your age anymore, the Superman, but that's what the proteins do to your body. All of you know them as the building blocks, and considering all the viruses and stuff coming up, we are very overwhelmed with the pandemic and stuff. But proteins are definitely one of the immune boosters in your body. And not only meat proteins, because many times kids your age or my age even, they will focus on one kind of protein. They only know of lamb or chicken or beef, but we need to vary our protein sources. All these foods that are shown here can be an excellent source of protein. You don't only have to eat meat and all the time. And why are we focused on finding different sources? We are going to talk a bit about it also. But besides that, carbs, many times I have seen kids coming to me and ask, because carbs have got that bad rap that many times kids think that I should just go on a low carb diet and I'm done. I can fix everything, every diet related problem that I might have. But research has convincingly proved, again, the nutrition facts label comes to your rescue, where you can actually see how much fiber is in your food. And why are we heavily dependent on fiber? because our gut plays an important role in the overall well-being of our body. And research has convincingly proved, and it's coming to a point where the microbiome in our gut, trillions of bacteria that are living in our healthy gut, they are directly connected to our brain. They send signals to our brain. So what you put in your body, what you eat, really impacts your mood and your well-being. And there's a huge connection between what you eat. So fiber, which is also a carbohydrate, which is complex carbohydrate, should be an essential part of your growing up right now, because these complex carbohydrates really do wonders with the gut and help in keeping a healthy digestive system. It's not just about the cookies, and you may think that, avoiding the cookies, that's what it's all about. That's not what the carbs are all about. It's also about getting the complex carbs into your body that help maintain your health. So, talking about the plate, and having said all that about highly processed food, about the nutrition that I should be getting, why are we really talking about it? Especially relevant in these times when we are home, when our movement is restricted. A lot of things, a lot of stresses come our way. There are many stresses that you may not be able to avoid. You may be overwhelmed by that, but there is one single thing that you can control, and every human being has been given that capability of doing. And in my opinion, coming from a nutrition background, one of the best things that you can help yourself with is taking care of your food, deciding and choosing what goes into your body. It's like I said before, it's not the next fad diet that comes in the news headline and tells you this is good for you. You choose, you be in tune with your body, because it has been proved convincingly now that poor diets that are high in saturated fat, processed foods, and refined carbohydrates. Now, pay attention to this, guys. Refined carbohydrates, not the fiber. Not the fiber. Fiber is a very essential carbohydrate in your diet. If you have an overwhelming abundance of saturated fat, processed foods, and refined carbohydrates, they are linked to poorer mental health in children and adolescents. And I'm not sure how many of you have heard about it, the happy hormone, serotonin. This hormone is a chemical that is produced in our guts. 90% of serotonin is produced in our guts. So what you eat is directly going to affect your mood. Directly. There is a direct link, because more and more research is coming out. What if you eat a balanced diet, you will definitely produce a good amount of serotonin. And what is serotonin? What does it do to our body? If you have the right balance of serotonin, you are happier, you're calmer, you're more focused, you're less anxious, and you are more emotionally stable. You are definitely more emotionally stable. So, taking into consideration that fact, that should tell you how important it is for us to start paying attention to how eating different foods makes you feel, not just in the moment, but in the next day. How do you feel when you eat that food? Because you are the best judge of determining how a food makes you feel. I can make a diet chart for you, but if it's not helping you, if you're not feeling good with it, you have to be in tune with your body and make sure that serotonin is happy so you can be happy, because your healthy gut is definitely a healthy body in all, because that is where there are other happy hormones, as they would call them, like endorphins, that are produced when you exercise and you feel good about it. But serotonin is heavily impacted by what you eat, because most of it is produced in your gut. I see something here. That's right, it's a happy chemical. It makes you happy. All right. So we talked about nutrition. Most of you might know that. We talked about how getting proper nutrition is important, but I consider it very important when I'm talking about holistic nutrition. It's very important for me to know about food print. Since I'm not able to see most of you, so I'm not sure how many of you are aware of the word food print. Have you guys heard of the word food print? Yeah, okay. So food print, as they say, is the result of everything it takes to get food from the farm to our plates. So this is again bringing it back to the discussion. It's bringing us back to the point where not being too picky is very important, not just for us, but for the earth as well. Now think about a burger that you're eating, or maybe the salad that you're having, or your favorite smoothie that you're drinking. Think about the choices that you're making. Yes, nutrition is important, taking care of your bodies is important, but at your age, where you are growing to be responsible people, it's also very critically important to take care of the earth that is taking care of you. So if you decide, you know what, burger is my favorite, I cannot live without it, that is what I'm going to eat day in and day out, right? That's what I want to eat. Every other day, I'm going to have that burger. That'll be, or you know what, this new diet came up, I'm just going to rely on smoothies. I'm not going to eat anything else. That's my food from now. Now think about it. How much energy is it taking to make that burger, to transport that burger so it gets to the grocery store and gets to you? What is the pollution that is produced? How much carbon is produced when we are growing the cattle to produce that burger for you? And one of the researchers found out that if he ate burgers just 3 times a week, and that's what he ate all his life, it would take 2.5 Earths resources for him to sustain his lifestyle. So that is where it's very important to maintain and find that balance again, to decide, what am I going to eat for the week? Is it going to be all burgers, or is it going to be the fat that I'm following? Am I going to rely only on one protein source, or should I explore and see what other sources are out there? What should I be looking for? And then asking yourself, as responsible people, how many earths do you think would be needed to support your lifestyle? How many earths? And there is a very cool website. If you wish, I can send it to Aisha, and you guys can actually find out how many earths do you think would be needed to support your lifestyle, and take it from there. Because as responsible people, I could be talking about nutrition day in and day out, but nutrition is not just about getting those nutrients. It's about the balance. It's about the balance. How in tune are you with your body? How in tune are you with your environment? Are you playing a good role? Are you going to leave the earth better than what you found it in terms of what you eat? Do consider that when you make that choice. Very critical. And of course, nothing is more important than saying no to food waste, in my opinion. Nothing is more important, because residential waste accounts for 44% of the food that is wasted in the US. So every time you sit at that table, please eat what's available at the table. You may not like it one day, but there have been many parents talking to me. Yes, it's okay to decide what you want to eat, but please don't waste that food. Remind yourself of the earths that it takes to make a simple burger, and make a decision from there, because you are responsible at this age to make those decisions, and you all can do it because you are empowered to do that. That is basically some of it. And I did a project like a few years ago where we decided to write what would our food rules look like. Since I'm not able to interact as much with you guys, but it would be very interesting to see what would your food rules look like, given that you have all the information, you have everything available to you. So some of them that came to my mind that could impact your choices: don't forget to say your prayer, eat together as much as possible, because given the environment that we are living in, with the grab and go foods, everything well and said and done, it's very important. Try to eat, try to sit down and give food the rightful place in your life. Try to eat what's on the table. Very important. Do not waste. Expand your palate. Try different foods. Find different sources so you can take care of not just yourself, but you can take care. Exactly. Chew with your mouth closed. I like that. And my kids growing up, I would teach them chew, chew, swallow, which meant be mindful, because many times you eat and you swallow it, you don't even know what the taste of the food was. Be mindful, because mindfulness helps us take care of many other things that we are facing these days. Don't waste food, and have a kitchen garden if possible, because it's very important for us as kids, as people growing up, as adolescents, to know the importance of how much hard work goes in producing that food. And when you realize that, many times, many things have changed for people, and they realize, that's right, I like that. I was taught finish what's on your plate. Definitely. So the best thing would be take a little bit, don't fill up your plate. Eat that much. If you want some more, you can always get more, right? That was from Kashif. Thank you. So have a kitchen garden. I have a kitchen garden. How many of you have a kitchen garden or have been to a farm? That's something very nice, very refreshing these days, being out. So that's basically it. I'm sure most of you knew all of that, but it's always good to get a perspective on things and have a well-rounded discussion, and know that I like that, Aisha, that my mom has a small garden. Yeah, I know that. That's a good thing. I love having a kitchen garden and exploring more. But the fact that a little sunshine, a balanced diet, exercise a little bit, those points, those things have never ever changed in nutrition, because there have been always things going on with new things coming up, new research about eating this, avoiding that, increasing not eating eggs one day, the other day they say no, it doesn't influence your cholesterol as much, you can have it. So those things keep changing, because all of us need to know that with nutrition, the research that the researchers do is mostly observational. So they observe people over time. It's very tough to do a clinical research and bring people and kind of treat them and produce a disease in them to convincingly tell you that this ingredient will do magic for you. So it's very important to have that balance and then keep yourself updated with what is out there. But if you're lacking that balance at the outset, you cannot fix it by there is no magic diet out there. Diet is what suits you, what you eat from morning to evening is your diet. And look at it again and see what changes can I bring out there to make it better. Maybe a little bit here and there. You may not need as much, but that is your diet. So I kind of leave you at it. And if anytime I can be of any help, I am available on Facebook, Instagram. I have a food as medicine page. Or if I can be of any help with any information, please feel free to contact me. I can share my email, and I'm always available for nutrition related consultations. But at this point, if you have any questions for me, I can take them, I guess, Aisha. So Aisha is asking me, what foods would help us increase serotonin the most? Well, they have found out that with serotonin, you have to take care of your gut. the trillions of bacteria that are inside your gut have to be healthy. So I would say high fiber foods, having your yogurt. Yogurt is a really good source of healthy bacteria that help maintain your gut. So high fiber foods, which is fruits, vegetables. There is no, no specific one, but definitely high fiber food and yogurt would help a lot with serotonin. Finding that, they have found out that high fat and highly processed foods are not very good for that. Definitely not. And of course, the exercise part, where endorphins are released, and that's when you get that runner's high where you're like, I want to go out and run. You want to come to that point, and that also you have to do in a sustainable way, because you may feel burnt out and get all the thing, try to get everything done in one day. Diet and exercise is about sustainability. If that walk is helping you, going out for a walk for half an hour, and you can maintain that all for a long time, that is very important. There are many exercise routines that people are creating, and if you can maintain it, yes, it will help you. But if it's going to be like one time and then you don't feel like doing it, then it doesn't. With diet and exercise, it's a long term and it has to be sustainable.